Obligatory podcast intro.
Hi, hello, and welcome. This is Flipping Pages with Matt and Adam. I'm Matt with my co-host Adam.
Hey.
We are covering comics to start with F and Z today.
That's right.
So I got one called Farewell Brindavoine.
Yeah.
Also, leave a like. If you brought it with you, just leave it with us. We'll take care of it. So apologies to our French listeners.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to butcher some of these names. They're, I'm supposed to say them with an accent.
It's rough.
So it's called Farewell Brindavoine.
Yeah.
It is by Tardi.
Yeah.
Tardi.
I think it's Tardy.
Tardi.
Yeah.
This was like 72, 73. It was put out in like a French magazine in the 70s.
Cool.
It's really interesting that like the preface talks about this character and stuff. So basically what it is this man, he's a photographer. They called him a dandy.
Yeah.
You know? And he's like basically blowing his father's money on photography and just being like an eccentric, crazy dude.
Gotcha.
His name is Lucien Brindavoine. So he gets approached by this old man who tells him, like, listen, there's adventure waiting for you in Istanbul. You need to get there.
Right.
And he gets killed by an assassin. So, like, he eventually decides to go. You know, as the guy's dying, he's like, meet this man here in Istanbul, and he'll take you.
Right.
The guy in Istanbul, once he gets there, he meets him, and it's like this opium head who's like a hard drinker. And they end up, like, getting along really well. And they have a lot of good scenes, little good conversations and shots where they're like getting wasted.
Oh, okay.
There's
Some like team building exercise.
Yeah, like these guys they don't care. The one thing I noticed about this character is adventure is happening.
Mm-hmm.
He's not necessarily participating in it.
Yeah.
He's like watching it. It's just it's like Indiana Jones just didn't do shit.
Right.
And
Stood
just
off in the corner eating popcorn as everything was going on.
Exactly. There's like one point where he's walking around a crazy situation. He's got his hands in his pockets. He's just cruising.
Yeah.
Like no urgency at all. He decides to leave
He's
his
just
comfortable.
A spectator. He's a spectator.
Pretty much. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to watch this adventure play out in front of me. He has his father's money, so he decides to go on this adventure. He meets this man, Oswald, who's the opium drinker guy, and they get along really well. And then they roll out to the middle of the Afghan desert.
Oh, shit.
And like, so throughout this trip, they get attacked by like assassins. Another person tries to kill them in a plane, and they actually shoot it down.
Nice.
And
this is back in the day, right?
Oh, yeah. I guess this would all be set in 1914. So
I
right
think it was
before World
14.
War I.
Yeah, okay.
So they said in the preface that is anachronistic because his drawings, Tardy's drawings and stuff predates steampunk by like 10 years.
Oh, shit.
So like it's not straight up steampunk, but the look
Precursor.
of the characters,
Precursor
very
to
much
steampunk.
so.
That's
the
awesome.
way the vehicles look. There's a blimp in it that there didn't have blimps at the year it was set in. So they end up getting to this place dealing with the assassins, dealing with the pilot that tried to kill them.
Yeah.
Who then walks them at gunpoint to this place called the Iron City. It's this giant palace / city looking place.
Right.
And it's standing on like a bunch of piles.
Like a fortress, like raised up fortress
A
kind of.
raised fortress on thousands of stilts.
Yeah,
basically,
so like
in the middle of the desert.
Whenever we talked about this, you mentioned it one time before, the stilt thing. I always picture like a oil rig.
Yeah,
but with
I guess
more
skinnier.
With more pot.
A
pillars.
lot of them. Yeah,
Okay,
instead of 4 big ones,
Uh-huh.
it's like a bunch of skinny ones throughout the entire.
Oh, okay.
So front to back,
Okay.
side to side is just piles.
Gotcha.
It's
Okay.
crazy, super high, and they're like electrified because there's nomads that obviously take issue with this Iron City.
Yeah.
So that's kind of goes to the end of that story. So I
Right.
won't, no spoilers on this one.
Yeah.
Spoil free. If you do want to hear it, we do have a podcast where we cover these in full spoilers and everything.
Yeah.
You'll get the
Little more
entire
in-depth.
story.
Yeah.
So after that deals with him in the war. So, after the story, he ends up going back to France and gets caught up in World War I.
Oh, okay.
And it's really just him being this, this same kind of hippie, eccentric dude being like
Right.
yelling at the Germans and the French to be like, no fighting. We should just go home. Stop fighting for these old men. And he ends up getting injured and finding like a group of men who are all like-minded and like, hey, we're just hanging out here for a while. And then obviously that culminates with one of his old friends showing up and then shenanigans happen.
Right.
So, but in between these stories, a writer pops up. I guess it's Tardy himself or some fictional character in the story.
Okay.
And the way he's talking about them as if they're all real. He's like, I changed names of certain characters and this character didn't die. He's actually alive in Berlin right now. And the blimp wasn't there because those didn't exist.
Right.
I looked it up and none of these people are real.
Yeah, okay. That's good to know.
I did enjoy the story. It was very cool, man. It was out of my wheelhouse. If you ever listen, to the episodes, our podcast, Flipping Pages with Matt and Adam, we have a wheelhouse and it normally involves really violent, crazy, or just straight up superheroes, which is also violent.
Yeah.
And we like a lot of guys with guns and superpowers and stuff like that. So this one just being like, it's almost an adventurer story, but not quite. I did enjoy it though.
Yeah.
The art was really interesting. Like, I think I said it was like scraggly, but like
I know
well
what you mean.
done.
When you see it, you're like, oh, okay, that's what he meant. Yeah.
Apparently the character pops up in another story set in some weird time period where they don't really specify. I don't know if it's before or after World War I.
Yeah, it just pops up in this story.
But the main character was really cool. I liked his personality. I liked him just kind of being there.
Yeah, floating along.
If there's one point where the Englishman that he meets that's smoking opium and drinking, he pulls over. It's like, it's 5 p.m. I have to have a cup or two. So he starts drinking, and they end up crushing like 1.5 bottles of whiskey.
Nice.
And the pilot I mentioned rolls up, and they're like, "What is that?" And they're like, "It's an airplane."
Mm-hmm.
They're like, what are they doing? And they see dynamite like wrapped in a bundle dropping out, and they're like,
"Oh, that's so cool."
They're like, they're bombing us, and they just start laughing.
Yeah.
And I was like, these characters are really, really interesting.
Yeah.
That they're just, I don't know if that's wasted or if it's them.
Yeah.
At one point, he hands him a gun, and he's like, you have to shoot. And he's like, not really my style. And then once he gets drunk, he's like, hand me that rifle. So like, I thought the characters were really fun. Cool story. Check it out. I guess, I mean.
Who put it out?
Fantagraphics.
Yeah.
That, they did Young Shadow, which was like one of my favorite comics we've covered.
I was reading one just for fun the other day, and at the back, it was a Fantagraphics, and at the back, it showed like a breakdown of a bunch of their other stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. I recognize a lot.
They have some wild stuff.
Yes.
Like, their art is not conventional. Like, they almost look outside the box for that.
Yeah.
If something looks like Image or Marvel, it's not going to be there.
No.
I mean, Young Shadow really had a real distinct look, and so does Farewell Brindavoine, like very distinct look.
Yeah.
So they got a niche, man. They got a style that they're keeping to. So that's 2 from them I really liked.
Yeah. All right, so I got Zawa, the Belly of the Beast.
Subtitle.
Yeah, Zawa, the Belly of the Beast.
Okay.
It's by Michael Dialnes. He's a creator, meaning he wrote it and did all the art for it.
What's that last name?
Dialnes. Oh, man, that was a good one I didn't try yet. Dialinus. Maybe he's an ancient Roman. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows? So this comes to you from Boombox, which is a imprint of Boom Comics.
If you know me, I love me some Boom Studios.
Boom is pretty dope.
I love Boom.
Especially for a modern, smaller publisher, and they're dope.
They got some good shit.
This came out last year, so it's really new. Mm-hmm. So the first issue came in 2023, and then the last one finished in 2024.
Okay.
So I think it was 5 issues. The art is very cartoony, very vibrant colors, but without the very thick, solid lines of like an average animation.
Okay.
So cartoony without the thick edge lines. I don't know how else to say it.
I know exactly what that means.
Very colorful. This world that we're dropped into is like ours, not exactly like ours, but there's like magic and shit, and no one really bats an eye at it.
Oh, really?
A little bit. There's a little bit of magic here and there, and then it's an island. So this island is like a sovereign nation. It says it's a city. It also says it's an island. It's all the same thing. It's one big spot. It's all run by one guy, the mayor. He's God King in this world. Like everybody defers to the mayor. The mayor provides them with food. He's running it like the island like a business, kind of like a government. It's a weird hodgepodge of like ideas.
Like
I don't
Dr. Moreau.
Not really. At first, I was gonna just let it go, be like, yeah.
I knew you were gonna be like, yeah.
I thought about it. I was like, oh.
Wasn't he God King of his island?
Okay, yeah, okay, I get it.
The island that was conveniently named after him?
Yes, you're right. I didn't even make that connection quick enough. You're actually right. So this place is called Mesa's Boon, which I thought was a really weird name for, because, I don't know, it's just weird, and it doesn't come up anywhere.
They don't mention
it ever.
That's what it's called. Fuck you.
So this is a dystopia. Like, everybody is sad. Everybody works for the mayor 24 hours a day. Not 20, you know what I mean? Like, all day. They get money, but they have to spend it on the food that he buys them.
Oh, my God.
Brings
Adam.
them. What?
Do we live in a dystopia?
We're on the way. So, we have a family. I call them the Bakers. They have real names. We're not going to get into it. The Papa Baker, Mama Baker, and the Twin Baker babies.
Twin Baker babies.
Yeah. So Papa Baker was the baker / cook for the entire factory, which is like a big part of their island. He either quit that job, something happened, and he started his own bakery. And we pick up there. We also see that the magical stuff is real because a lot of people in the setting are kind of thinking it's bullshit at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into any specifics on this one, really, about like the magic and blah, blah, blah. So
it's there.
Yeah, some people think it's real. Some people don't think it's real. We get shown like first page that it is real, that it is a thing. So we know it's real. There's skeptics in the story. So the Baker family has always hated the mayor. They've always hated the originally it was a cool government at some point, but then when the mayor took over, bad shit started going down. So whenever he started getting in power, Papa Baker and Mama Baker were against him. They wanted to depose him, basically, whatever. And then Papa Baker goes missing. He's gone at the very beginning of the story, and that's where we pick up with the Baker family. Mama Baker is super busy working in the factory all day. At least that's what the kids think. The kids run the bakery now. Twin 1, Twin 2. They run the bakery, and they obviously super hate the mayor, even though they don't even know the half of it. You get into real details eventually. I'm going to introduce our actual like main character is Zawa. And Zawa is a crazy character in that she doesn't speak a lot, but she's in almost every page, pretty much. She's integral to the story. Obviously, the story's named after her.
I hope so.
She has stuff to do with the magic and whatnot. That comes into play. She develops through the story. Even though it's a 5-issue story, she goes from one thing to something else and then slides back, but then eventually comes out like a romance movie where like they're in, they love it. Oh, now they're broken up. Oh, wait, at the end they're back together again.
Right.
It's kind of how her character goes. She's really cool. Her design, I really like her design in this.
Yeah, I saw it.
Not what you were expecting.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I was picturing, for some reason, I was picturing like a put together like teenage girl.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, I was like, damn,
She's
I
like
was
the
so
opposite.
far off. Yeah.
Yeah, she's very disheveled.
Like ghoulish.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And her skin just, she's not wearing paint or nothing, but her skin is like black and white. And
Yeah.
like weird pattern on it.
And not what I was picturing.
Yeah, she looks really cool.
I guess that's my fault.
Yeah, picture it better in your brain, Matt. God. So the story is a quick read. It's 5 issues. There's not a lot of dialogue. There's very little dialogue, actually. The story's cool. It's simple enough where you completely follow it. I'd say this is pushed towards a young adult / preteen type audience, maybe.
Yeah, the boombox is for
boombox is usually for a younger crowd. I think it was really good. There's obviously no cursing or nothing. There's enough violence where you're like, oh, this is cool, but there's like no blood, actual blood in it. Any violence is against like monsters. So
Right.
like green and you know what I mean.
I was going to say, speaking of monsters, there's really cool parts at the end.
There's some really good stuff.
Yeah,
the monster designs in this are great. Everything's very cute and kitty in one way, bubbly in one way. But then whenever they do the monsters, they're still bubbly. But like, oh damn, that's a cool looking monster.
Yeah, I was surprised by like the content and then seeing it and being like, oh, okay, it's a like Orphan Blade. where it's like real kiddie.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah,
they're like
yeah.
cutting monsters in half, and like people are like getting ripped apart and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But it's really, really cartoony looking.
Yeah,
It's
Kaiju Max.
Yeah,
Another
exactly.
example,
Yeah, that's really funny to me.
But yeah, so I would definitely recommend this to literally anybody, and I actually would say this could be a good introduction to comics to young people or even adults that think all comics are superheroes punching each other only.
Right. It's not.
It's obviously not. We know that.
There's a lot of that though.
Yes. Oh, the main
vast
majority.
I like to say it's its own Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
Like anything you like, you can go find it in comics. I'm
some version of that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could.
Oh, by now, yes, everything.
Yeah, I think so.
Very specific. It was great.
Good read.
Good read. If you want to hear more of the details and the spoilers, go listen to our full podcast episode.
Yeah, Flipping Pages with Matt and Adam on Spotify. Man, I must have said it like 3 times.
Yeah, at least.
I was like, should I just go all in and say it multiple times?
We can play it off as a joke.
So many.
Not shameless self-promotion. No, it's a bit we do.
It's a bit.
It's a bit.
We're gonna do it every time because that's how funny it is.
That's right.
All right, so should I do the thing?
Yeah, do the regular thing.
Okay. We are on Instagram at Flipping Pages 24. We're on Facebook at Flipping Pages with Matt and Adam. YouTube at Flipping Pages with Matt and Adam. New episodes release every Thursday on all podcast platforms. And these will be released on YouTube, I'm guessing Thursday as well.
We're going to see.
We're going to see.
Play it by ear.
We're going to try and drop it at the same time.
Yeah, around the
I'm
time.
assuming.
For sure.
So, follow, like, and subscribe. That helps us out a ton.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the episode. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.